This is really exciting. We already talked about the election predictor, Professor Alan Lichtman, and how he's predicting that Vice President Kamala Harris will win the 2024 election. Here, we have a conservative pollster and focus group guy named, now of course, I'm blanking on it, Frank Lunz. And he's actually criticized by a lot of people, often for fair reasons, because of his conservative bias. But even he is saying something that, as you'll see here, shocked Piers Morgan.
Do you think Kamala won? And does that mean she may now win the election?
I think more accurately it's that Donald Trump lost. And this is not the worst debate performance I've seen in my career, but it's very close to it. The conversations about people eating dogs and cats, calling the leader of Hungary one of the greatest world leaders, repeatedly missing the opportunity to focus on inflation and affordability, and the complete inability to present his point of view without completely tearing into Joe Biden, into whomever was in his sights. It was a pretty negative performance, pretty pessimistic, cynical, contemptuous, and I think that this will cost him. Yes, I'm trying to decide if I want to go on record, and the answer is yes. I think that he loses because of this debate performance.
Wow.
I think he loses, Frank Lunz says, because of the debate performance. That's way further than I'd be willing to go in terms of predictions and in terms of causation. It is interesting sometimes realizing that the debate performance, it was bad, but for us, it wasn't surprising on his end. I was pretty surprised by just how well Harris did, even though I predicted that she would do pretty well. But Trump was Trump. That's what we've seen in his rallies. That's what we've seen. But so often, America at large isn't getting to see that like we do. And so just him being him, as unhinged as he is, was disastrous. And him being seen that way by voters, according to Frank Lunz, again, a conservative pollster, could be an outcome determiner, which is really exciting. Again, the caveat is that none of this changes our behavior, hopefully. And before looking at more, I would encourage you in the link in the description of this video to donate to Harris's campaign. We've been raising money as the show, and I think 2,700, I mentioned in a video, people have set up reoccurring payments, which is so awesome. Make yourself one of those people, or a one-time payment. Either one is great, and I appreciate it, and I'll give you updated numbers on how much have been raised in the coming days. But bunch of work still has to happen is the point, and don't let the hope and the predictions change any of that. But right now, we've seen a shift in Harris's direction with the 538 forecast, and now she wins 55 times out of 100 based on this simulation, and Trump wins 45 times out of 100. Things that happen 45 times out of 100 happen rather often. So that doesn't mean anything really in our actions. You have a few different things here. One that I wanted to show was the battleground states. You can see that the split in Wisconsin and Michigan is more comfortable. But other than that, Trump's leading according to 538's average in North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona. Harris is leading in Nevada and Pennsylvania, but barely. Those are essentially tied. And in all of these, you have just the most narrow margins you can possibly imagine. That also is represented in the Real Clear Politics averages from these battleground states, seeing that Pennsylvania's tied according to their average. Harris leading in Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, Trump leading in Arizona, and then Trump leading in North Carolina and Georgia, but by essentially nothing. Those are also tied. I mean, this is such a tight race, and that does disturb us. I get it. Let's not think about that for now. Let's just worry about winning and celebrating the victory, and then we'll have to contend with how disturbing it is that, given everything we now know about Trump and given the qualifications of Harris, we would be in a place where this would be how close the race is. And how possible it is that Trump could win despite the debate performance. But the big news there is from Lunz. If you haven't already and want to support us on our race to 1 million subscribers, you can do it by clicking that subscribe button below. Easy, free, simple. It makes all the difference. Back to the video. Then you have Fox News reporting on some polls.
I'm going to show you now our power rankings about to be revealed for the first time. We mentioned a moment ago that there are changes, all right? Let's put it into motion, okay? We believe right now that North Carolina and Georgia have had a shift. They've had some movement. So I want to direct your attention down to the southeastern corner of the country. Georgia and North Carolina are considered toss-ups. Our forecast at the moment has Kamala Harris the lead. We've got her at 241. We've got Trump at 219. You need 270 to win. That's the magic number in the end. Okay? And that.
So it's going to be, even if Harris were to win by a significant electoral margin, still the margin of victory in the individual states that are going to determine that is going to be super tight. And what's really exciting, though, is, as Fox News is reporting on, Trump definitely not going to like hearing this, North Carolina and Georgia are both now very much in play. And so while probably it's going to end up even electorally being close, either way it goes, there's some chance, if all of these swing states really are in play, for a significant victory on the part of Harris. And then the point I've heard plenty of people making is, in a state like North Carolina, that Trump he has to win. That wasn't supposed to be something Harris was considering winning. If he's having to allocate resources and work to just win there, then that's wasting resources that he really needs to be spending in the battleground states that are in play for Harris. And so that's a really exciting revelation as well. And are we going to look back at debate night and think that's the night that Trump lost the election? Maybe. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Support the show by clicking the join button below, and that's how you get the members only bonus show. And then some of you have said you aren't getting the join button. It doesn't appear. If that's the case for you, in the description box we have a link that should help you join.